Hello, this is Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica, and today we are going to work on a shin box hip drive with the kettlebell. The shin box is part of a larger series of hip movement. Normally we learn this without weight first. That's pretty important for most people in the modern world. They're not used to loading their hips in this position. But over time, as you progress through mobility, you will eventually progress to the weighted versions of these movements. Shin box position starts with 2 sits bones flat on the ground, 2 feet flat on the ground. The distance between the feet is the distance between the ankle bone and the knee, slightly different for each person. So that when you go into the shin box, your knee lines up with the instep of this lead leg. Important note, this ankle bone should be flat on the ground. If this ankle is up in the air or something as weird is going on with this rear foot, figure out how to get it to settle all the way down to the ground. In the beginning, people will feel stress in this knee as their body is reclaiming its normal range of movement. You need to practice this by doing mobility drills, as are in the beginning of almost all the programs I write, some version of this activity, and stretching drills. Post-workout, you could hold this position for 2 minutes on each side to allow your body to regain the length of all the tissues involved in this position. When we introduce load into this equation, we are going to start with the most controlled way possible. We are going to hold our kettlebell by the horns with the globe upright. From here, drive straight up, extend the hip. What we are looking for is this rear glute to squeeze. Get all the way down, sit down in this back hip. Keep that weight directly in front of the center line of your chest. Elbows tight together. Keep the weight off the body. Extend the hip all the way up. Get down. Extend the hip all the way up. Get down. Extend the hip all the way up. And get down. Set the kettlebell down in front of you any way you want where you're not going to hurt yourself. Think of this as taking our normal range of human movement, this one, and then introducing load to it, which you do in all wrestling sports that you're going to do in some way. This is controlled. We can adjust the weight of the kettlebell to start light and build up to heavy. This is a rather strange movement for most people. Take it in phases. Work on your mobility first. Hands back, driving hips down. Hands forward, changing from side to side. Isolate one side. Drive the hip up. Then start back at the beginning. Hands on, alternate sides. This leg is the one that we're trying to get that hip towards the ground. Change sides. This hip is now the important one. Once we get good at that, then we add this extension of the hip. I'm going to emphasize this. There is nothing superhuman or outlandish about this movement. This is a normal human range of movement. If you watch babies, when they sit down or they fall down, they will fall into this position. That is why we want to get good at this. This is actually a safety valve for when something goes wrong in the bottom of our squat. So we are trying to develop strength and control in this position so that when we do inevitably take a dive at some point in our life, we do not injure our hip or injure our knee, and our core can support us in all of these positions. The kettlebell version of this is the easiest to control in the beginning. In the beginning, people's elbows will be either too far back or too far forward. Take the elbow, pin it to your side on each side, and then perform this action. If your hands are up, get your hands down at that 90-degree angle, squeeze the elbows inside, fire the lats. As you learn these transitions from side to side, you may have to slightly round your back in this position. Just remember, once you get here, extend that spine towards the sky and keep those elbows in. This movement links into all other types of movements and is integrated into our no-handed get-up series. Getting up with no hands on the ground or 2 hands on an object is a normal human skill, and that is what lies beyond the normal kettlebell Turkish get-up. Getting up without the use of the hands, and then we will change implements, and we can do this with kettlebells, clubs, maces, sandbags, heavy bags, people, small dogs, I don't know. Kettlebell is the easiest to control in the beginning.